Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monday Night Football pregame show with Fumble Sports as we prepare you for Rams at Packers. If you have fantasy questions, gambling questions, we're going to help you out. Everything you need for this Monday Night Football game, and even looking a little bit towards Week 16. So join us, Fumble Sports, on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. Just doing a pregame show for Monday Night Football between the LA Rams and the Green Bay Packers. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you throw your questions in the chat. It can be fantasy related, game pick related, prop bet related. We're doing everything on this Monday Night Football pregame show, just getting you ready for Rams at Packers. This game, the Packers are a 7.5 point favorite. Right now, the over-under set at 39.5 points. We're going to talk a lot about this game. Certainly going to give out game picks, Steven, as well. So make sure you throw your questions in the chat. Would love to know your takes on Week 16 as well. What went down? Also, how'd your fantasy games go? I know we did a lot of pregame shows. We try to help a lot of you out with fantasy advice and everything else. But make sure you share with us how your Week 15 went. Did you have a Patriots Week 15, or did you have a Minnesota Vikings Week 15? Would love to know how your fantasy matchups went. And of course, we will talk about Monday Night Football between the Rams and Packers, player prop bets, totals, the over-under. That's right, Steven. Don't worry. We're going to get to all of those questions. I'm going to give out all of those picks. We'll also give out some player prop bets that I really like. So throw your questions in the chat. Join us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We're going to do a pregame show for 90 minutes. So if you have fantasy questions about this game, Steven, don't worry. I'm going to get to your question because I know you've been asking. But we're going to do everything you guys need to get you ready for this Monday Night Football matchup between the Rams and Packers. Dave 505 asks, Lazard or Dillon at the flex? I think I lean just slightly towards Lazard. I think it's going to be a passing game for the Green Bay Packers. Rams are better against the run. I know they're without Aaron Donald, but I still expect the Packers to have a good game through the air. That said, going to the question earlier that Steven had, the Fumble Sports pick for this one is Packers on the money line. I like the Packers on the money line in this one, but I like the Rams to cover. I'd buy the 1.5 right now, and I'm getting Packers at +9, or rather, I'm getting Rams at +9 when I buy the 1.5. That seems like a good play to me. So I'm on both sides of the fence on this one. That's Packers on the money line, and I would take the Rams to cover +9. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you throw your questions in the chat. Yeah, who's your daddy? I'm really worried now all of a sudden about Jalen Hurts for fantasy owners. Had his shoulder injury. We'll see if he's able to play Saturday against the Cowboys. Now that things have kind of gotten wrapped up in the NFC, you wonder if this is a ploy by the Eagles to maybe avoid him getting injured against the Cowboys. But I'm curious to know what his status will be. Broman 1016. Thoughts on Christian Watson tonight? I do like Christian Watson getting an anytime touchdown. That seems to have been a good play. I'm going to ride that trend since I can't anymore. But that said, I'm not crazy about him in terms of yardage. I think he could have maybe a 65-yard game, 70-yard game. But I think it's the anytime touchdown you're really banking on. Appreciate all of you joining us. Colliver asks, Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon? You got to go Aaron Jones. He just offers more in both the run and the pass game. Are we starting Andrews again since Lamar Jackson's coming back? I wouldn't, Dat Boy. I would avoid all the receivers on the on the Ravens right now. I just don't trust their offense. I think Greg Roman hasn't done a very good job of kind of developing the passing game of this team. Don't be surprised if Greg Roman takes the job out elsewhere. I've heard a lot of rumors about him taking a college football job. I could see him leaving. Rodgers over under tonight. So one Rodgers player prop bet that I really like tonight is his over under total touchdowns. That's Aaron Rodgers. I like over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think that's a really good play. In his career against the Rams, whether they've been in St. Louis or LA, Rodgers has thrown at least 2 touchdowns in all but one game up against them. He's played 6 so far in his career. By the way, one of the reasons I'm going with Packers on the money line, Rodgers is 5-1 in his career against the Rams. So some trends. I like to go with trends and some stats like game logs, home and away splits. That's how I do a lot of my research. Steven, as for the over-under, I'm kind of avoiding it right now. earlier in the week, I felt better about it. I was leaning towards the over. I'm leaning a bit towards the over tonight simply because I think Baker Mayfield could surprise some people. I think he's now had an opportunity to absorb some of the Sean McVay offense. I think Van Jefferson could hit his over receiving yards total. I think Cam Akers, his over rushing yards is a really good play. So I think there are a number of opportunities. I also like a Cam Akers anytime touchdown. So there are a number of player prop bets that I like for this game. But over, under, I would go with the over tonight. I think there are going to be more points than people think. Maybe I'll be off on this one. The under's been a very popular play in prime time. So that's the only reason I'm hesitant, is I'm kind of going against those trends. Okay, Bryant asks, I need 10.1 points from Aaron Jones to win round one. Think he gets it? I'm scared. Yeah, I would be scared as well. You're really banking on that anytime touchdown happening. I think there's a decent chance Aaron Jones could get in the end zone, but when it comes to yardage, I don't think you're going to get 10 points. So you're going to need him to find the end zone in order to get you over the top. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't have too many likes right now. Once we get up to 5,000 likes, we'll do a quick poll around tonight's game. We like doing a lot of those polls just to engage the audience, get your take on what's going on. Okay, J-Dog, pick one. Knox, Moore, Herbert, Waller for upcoming week. I've started to do my research for next week. I would recommend that you join us tomorrow night at 8:30. We will do a TikTok live from 8:30 up until 10 p.m., and I'll be answering all the fantasy football questions for Week 16. I'm going to do all my research for Week 16 tomorrow. I have gone through a few of the matchups, just, kind of glancing over them. So you ask about, like, Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox is going up against the Chicago Bears, so there may be an opportunity there. That said, DJ Moore, Carolina Panthers, I'm still kind of, like I said, I'm still kind of feeling out what games are going to be matched up. There's some weird games. This isn't a weekend that has a lot of divisional matchups. So we'll definitely put in our research and help you out, J-Dog. Make sure you join us tomorrow night at 8:30. That way we can help you out. By the way, Comedian Tank, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the support all you guys show us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Let's hit 5,000 likes. We'll do a quick poll around tonight's game. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports. Hit that like button as many times as you can. MVP Metcalf, who always seems to be in the space when we come on. Thank you so much for the support, MVP Metcalf. Need 0.9 from Aaron Jones. Feel good about that. Hoping he stays healthy for you. Steven asks, 3 team T's, Green Bay win, Rams win, and over. Yeah, Green Bay win, Rams cover, and the over. Yeah, that's actually, that's where my money's at tonight. The only one I'm not crazy about is that over-under. I'm leaning towards the over because the Packers' defense hasn't been good this year, and I feel like Baker Mayfield might throw the ball around. Sean McVay might have some fun with him. So I could see kind of sneaking past that 40-point total. Where's it at now? Right now it's at 39.5, so you can buy that down. You can make that 38 points. I certainly would do that, try to get it as low as possible so I don't bump my head. But that said, I lean just slightly towards the over, almost because I want to see it. I think it's more of me wanting to have some fun on a Monday night. The under, though, is covered in prime time so often. Yeah, Dat Boy, after Pacheco fumbled, that really pissed Reed off. Yeah, it was really disappointing because I said to a lot of people Pacheco was going to be a great play this week in fantasy. And even in a week that he was in the doghouse, he still put up almost 10 points. So you have to feel really good about the fact that, he actually did have again, limited opportunities. But I hate how coaches, when a guy has a fumble, all of a sudden he's, out of the game. I hate that. Need Akers to get 12. Is it possible? I think it's possible on the very outside. My concern is he's not going to get as many rushing yards, but I feel like that anytime touchdown could come through for you. Aaron Jones, 20-plus points. That might be stretching it. I think he's going to be closer to, 17 points. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Once we hit 5,000 likes, we'll also do a quick poll around tonight's game. I'm not a Jets fan. How do I get on this side? I don't know what side. Jake needs Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones to be under 36. Am I good? Man, that's going to be tight. I don't think you are good. I think it's gonna hit like 38 points, and I think it's gonna bust you. I hate to be that guy, but you need Jones, Tanyan, and Packer defense under 55. I could see that. I could see that happening. I think the Packers defense is the thing that could actually help you out, or hurt you rather. Dak is garbage. Can we agree on that? Okay, do I think Dak is garbage? Like, no. Okay, like, I've seen garbage in the NFL. There is plenty of garbage in the NFL and plenty of quarterbacks I submit for garbage. Mitch Trubisky to me is garbage. Mitch Trubisky is like an old toy that's misused, that's broken, like one of the hinges doesn't work. Matt Ryan is broken. He's garbage. Like, to me, Dak Prescott, I just didn't like his game at times. Like, at times he had a great game, and at other times I just wondered what he was thinking. Like, what was the decision making? And again, maybe that goes to Kellen Moore, maybe it goes to Mike McCarthy, but Tony Pollard and Zeke, like, even if it's a screen pass, even if it's getting the defense spread when you spread the offense, and then just doing little dunk and dink plays, I'm just surprised that the Jaguars were allowed to come back in that game because of how they handled it. Who do you have, Packers or Rams? I like the Packers on the money line. I like the Rams to cover. I would buy the 1.5 and make it Rams +9. So that's Packers money line and Rams +9. How does Watson do tonight? I think Watson has a decent game. I think he'll get somewhere between like 60, maybe 70 receiving yards. I do like an anytime touchdown. I think that's a decent play. Over the last few games, he's kind of bounced around in terms of yardage. He's had 48-yard games and 110-yard games, and kind of bounced back between that high 40s, 100-yard game. I think it's kind of in the middle tonight between those two. But that anytime touchdown has cashed 4 straight weeks. I'm going to keep riding that with him until it doesn't anymore. Yeah, sorry about that. Jalen Waddle, I'm just surprised. I did warn that there was a possibility that he could have that one big play where he just takes off and it goes for a touchdown. But I'm surprised the Dolphins did so well in the passing game against the Buffalo Bills secondary. That's a little bit concerning if I'm Buffalo, knowing that whenever you face a team in the playoffs, whether it's the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Cincinnati Bengals, they're going to be able to throw on you. So definitely reason for concern. From now on, do you start Mostert or Jamal Williams? I'm just a big believer in week to week, you care about the matchup. Sometimes you're going to face a team that's terrible against the run. You got to go with the better matchup. Sometimes someone's injured. You know, is Jeff Wilson Jr. playing? Is Mostert kind of splitting touches like Jamal Williams is? You know, Jamal Williams continues to get opportunities in the red zone. It's one of the reasons I like him week in, week out. Because when Swift is between the 20s, you don't know what you're necessarily going to get. Jamal Williams, he seems to get in that end zone. So, yeah, Vikings rule the North. What a comeback that they had. I have to admit, I didn't see it coming. At the end of the first half, I put out a rant video and got it very much wrong. Had to delete that one and kind of shame myself. But that said, Kirk Cousins, what an amazing comeback. And I think for Kevin O'Connell, I think there were a lot of people who were ready to rip Kevin O'Connell, saying he was just a young, kind of out-of-nowhere hire. He didn't really deserve the role. And then all of a sudden the team comes back and you go, man, this Kevin O'Connell kind of knows how to get the boys to play a little bit better. So Rodgers over 17 points. I think it's going to be pretty tight, but I do think he gets over 17 points because I like Rodgers throwing 2 touchdowns tonight. Aaron Jones, 59.5 yards. Yeah, I saw that. Wasn't crazy about it because recently when it comes to Aaron Jones's rushing yards, last 3 games he's hit under that number. 26, 43, and 40 yards. Not crazy about it simply because unless he's going off for like a 130-yard game, he's kind of been closer to 45 yards than he has to 75. It's one of the reasons, Boog, that I'm not really crazy about that play tonight. Yeah, I guess we learned our lesson. You can never sit Tyreek and Waddle from here on out. Yeah. Jefferson is the first wide receiver MVP. No, I wouldn't go that far. I actually think Tyreek Hill is probably more deserving of the MVP this year at wide receiver than Justin Jefferson is. Big Easy. Thoughts on Aaron Jones tonight? I think Aaron Jones is going to get around 50 rushing yards, maybe 55. I'm not crazy about that 50, that rushing yard total. I'm going to stay away from it. I think he adds another 30 yards in the receiving game, maybe up to 40 yards. But I do like an anytime touchdown. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. And once we hit 5,000 likes, we'll do a quick poll around tonight's game. Is Foreman droppable? I would just bench him. I wouldn't drop him. Safe to drop Jonathan Taylor or hang on. I wouldn't drop some of these guys right now unless you absolutely have to. You never know if you're going to get an opportunity to play them in the next week or two at a more valuable time. So before we drop anybody because of a performance, unless it's injury, if someone's out, like, that's fine. But just kind of wait on it. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you follow us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. All right. Mikey Marshall asks Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Let's do that player prop bet poll. What do you guys think? Let's do 2 touchdowns, smiley face, 1 touchdown or less, crying face. Do you think Aaron Rodgers throws 2 touchdowns tonight? Smiling face, yes. Crying face, no. Let's do a quick poll. Does Aaron Rodgers throw 2 touchdowns tonight? Smiling face, yes. Crying face, no. And then I'll give out my pick. I know a couple of you guys already caught it. What do you guys think out there? Will Aaron Rodgers throw at least 2 touchdowns? Smiling face, yes. Crying face, no. Giving you guys some stats. Rodgers in the last 3 games has 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, and 2 touchdowns. Smiling face, yes. Crying face, no. Does Aaron Rodgers have 2 touchdowns tonight? Smiley face, yes. Crying face, no. Does Aaron Rodgers get 2 passing touchdowns tonight? Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports. Smiley face, yes. Crying face, no. Does Aaron Rodgers throw 2 touchdowns tonight? Let us know what you guys think. Love doing these quick polls. Love hearing the take from the audience. You guys think Aaron Rodgers is going to throw 2 touchdowns tonight? I feel the same way. I saw that player prop bet, and I got excited. I have Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I'm getting that at minus 115. One of the reasons I really like that play, I mentioned it earlier, Rodgers has played 6 games against the Rams in his career. Now, this Rams is obviously both St. Louis and Los Angeles. But in those 6 games, Rodgers has thrown at least 2 touchdowns 5 out of the 6 times. So I really like that player prop bet. I think that's one of those where, again, you look towards the trend. Rams are good against the run. I know that kind of reflects when they have Aaron Donald. But I think Aaron Rodgers, is this the last game he plays at Lambeau Field as a Green Bay Packer? That's a question we can ask later. Would love to know your guys' take. But that said, I think Rodgers is going to come out looking to have a good game in the cold. So I expect him to throw at least 2 touchdowns in this one. That's good for fantasy owners, and I think good for player prop bettors. Let's get back to answering some of your questions. Once we get up to 10,000 likes, we'll do another quick poll. Mills 1414. Who do I replace Hurts with? Make sure you join us tomorrow, Tyler. I'm going to put together all of my waiver watch material tomorrow morning, and that way you'll know a quarterback you should pick up off the waiver wire. I'm praying that Jones gets taken out of the first play. John, I'm not necessarily going to pray for that. I hope that there are other circumstances, You never want to see someone get hurt. Crush City, what's the odds on Akers rushing yards tonight? Let's check that out. Now, I will say, I use Bovada. I'm not recommending them. They don't pay for anything that I do, so this is not a sponsorship by any means. I've just been using them for years, so I'm kind of staying with them for now. Total rushing yards on Bovada, where I see it. Over under 58.5 rushing yards for Aaron Jones. Over minus 120, under minus 110. There's a part of me that kind of wants to take the under. Based off the trends, the under's kind of the better play. I'm not touching it because without Aaron Donald, you don't know. Maybe Aaron Jones breaks one and all of a sudden that over hits without a problem. But there's a part of me that is kind of attracted to the under on that play. Can we trust an inconsistent Miles Sanders in fantasy playoffs? he really disappointed me yesterday. Like, of all the members of the Philadelphia Eagles that I expected to actually have a good game, it was Miles Sanders. Devontae Smith went off. A.J. Brown went off. Obviously, Jalen Hurts went off. But Miles Sanders was kind of, unfortunately, quiet. I would look to keep him in the lineup. Obviously, join us tomorrow night when we go through all of Week 16, and I'll definitely give you my take on whether he's a play or not. But that said, he's going up against a Cowboys defense that is better against the run than they are against the pass, so he might be a sit. Name an NFL player for an edit? What do you mean for an edit, Patrick? You making like a highlight tape? If you're making a highlight tape like for an edit, I can't think of any player I like seeing highlights of more than Barry Sanders. There is nothing like watching a Barry Sanders highlight film. I mean, it's the greatest thing ever. Barry Sanders. If you haven't seen him, make sure you do. And that's only to the younger generation. I know everyone else of my generation and older got dazzled by what Barry Sanders did on a regular basis. Appreciate you joining us. Make sure you follow us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. Can you trust A.J. Dillon to get you 5.5 PPR points tonight? A.J. Dillon, game log stats. Let's check it out. So A.J. Dillon, he's had a couple good games in a row, 93, 64 yards. In his splits, he's not as good at home, but it's not terrible. He's averaging about 4 yards a carry. I could see him getting you close. He gets more receptions than I always think, too. He always gets a few more opportunities in the passing game. Like, believe it or not, A.J. Dillon has actually had 3 receptions in back-to-back games. He's been targeted at least 3 times in both games. Yeah, I could see him getting over that. I could see that happening. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports. Okay, Ruggs rule. I don't like doing first-time touchdowns or any, the first TD score. I feel like it is impossible because it's always like the backup fullback who also plays tight end. It's the wide receiver who, like, he was on IR and redshirted in a practice squad player, but he's up for just this one game because his grandma's sick. It's the most random people who get the first touchdown of a game. So I like anytime touchdowns. I also, if you have a lot of conviction about a game, like I really like the Packers on the money line tonight. That's not great money. You're not getting great odds on that. You're getting like minus 380 or minus 350, something like that. So something I like to do is, if you do like a certain player, anytime touchdown with the parlay of a team winning. So a player prop bet that I really like tonight is Christian Watson, anytime touchdown plus a Packers win. You're getting that at plus 200 money. Plus 200 money, I thought Christian Watson was going to score a touchdown anyways. If he scores a touchdown, the Packers probably win. Combine those in the parlay. So anytime TD for Christian Watson and a Green Bay win seems like a good play for me. Appreciate all you guys joining us and supporting us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I got you, Debrash. I always forget how to pronounce your name, but okay. Kyrene Williams for 13 points. Is it possible? I'm really not crazy about it tonight because I actually like Cam Akers more tonight. Let's check out some of his stats, though, just to make sure I'm getting myself straight here. So Kyrene Williams, I mean, in his last couple of games, he's got 19 rushing yards and 9 rushing yards. Like, his high this year is 36 rushing yards. The most yards he's gotten in a game between rushing and receiving is 60. So I really don't feel great about Kyrene Williams putting up 13 points because I don't think he's going to be the guy in the end zone. I have a greater feeling that, like, Kyrene Williams doesn't have a touchdown this year. So I really don't feel good about it. So Dat Boy Sean, like I said, I don't want to give you bad information early. Join us tomorrow night, 8:30 on TikTok Live and on YouTube. We're going to go through every game of NFL Week 16. I'll answer all of your fantasy questions. Join us. I'll be able to answer that question tomorrow after I do my research. If Hurts sits, yeah, as I mentioned, we'll do that show tomorrow, and I'll definitely run through that. But just kind of thinking about, like, You got Andy Dalton against the Browns. You got Jared Goff against the Panthers. You got Daniel Jones against the Vikings. Keep an eye on that one. Don't like the Falcons. Don't like what I saw from Desmond Ridder. I mean, maybe you may want to consider Zach Wilson on Thursday Night Football. I mean, he had decent stats. Just, again, something to consider. I don't like Taylor Heineke this week. Derek Carr against the Steelers. You know, I'm not crazy about that one. There are some people you could definitely pick up that are out there. So make sure you join us tomorrow on Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll definitely break down all of your fantasy questions. We got you, Derek. Appreciate the support. Are there any players that may get benched because the team clinched? I don't think we're quite there yet in the NFL. We're getting there. My actual concern is that they won't get benched pre-game, which makes it easier on fantasy owners. My concern is we're going to get into some of the games next weekend, and their team will have a lead, and the coach will go, okay, that's it for you. We've clinched our spot, and we don't need this game, or we've already got it for seeding. And so my concern is you could see some guys play a first half, but not get the same kind of reps in the second half. That is one I've kind of got my eye on going into next week. Is Joe Burrow rather worth the start if Jalen Hurts doesn't play? Oh, absolutely. He's going up against the Patriots defense right now that I have no faith in. I have no faith in the Patriots at all. Did everyone see that performance? Like, that was just atrocious. Their defense too, so don't just make it about that one play. If Jalen Hurts is out, should I pick up Trevor Lawrence? Trevor Lawrence has been red hot, but here's my concern. He's playing a Jets defense on Thursday night on the road. Jets are great on defense. It's a short week. He's the road team. I actually feel like it's a letdown game, so no, I'm not crazy about it. I mean, you just saw with the Lions offense, which is kind of high-powered, kind of similar to Jacksonville, a lot of weapons, offense, running game, and in the passing game, and you just saw the Jets like totally shut them down. Imagine what they're going to do to Trevor Lawrence. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you follow us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. Aztex asks, Watson or Akers when you're down 3.6 points, you got one guy left. He has nobody. I can't miss on this one because you need it. Because of that, I'm going to lean towards Christian Watson. Watson's had at least 3 catches in 4 consecutive games. He's gotten at least 40 yards in 4 consecutive games. And if he gets you an anytime touchdown, that seals it. So I'm going to lean just slightly towards Christian Watson. I really hope I get that one right for you. A.J. Dillon more than 33 points. No, don't see that one. That would take a miracle. Who do you got winning the first quarter? I got to feel like the Packers are going to come out and take a lead. Unless you get a Baker Mayfield like deep pass to Van Jefferson, which sets up an early field goal or something like that. I like Aaron Rodgers and the Packers to come out early in this game and at least take a lead. So guys, if you have fantasy football questions, make sure you join us tomorrow night, Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern on TikTok Live and on YouTube. I'm going to get all my research done tomorrow for Week 16 to be able to give you every answer you need on who to start, who to sit. Our pregame show tonight, I'll try to answer some of your questions like Evan Ingram versus Njoku. I would lean towards Njoku. Ingram, again, tough matchup against the Jets. But if you want to make sure you join us tomorrow night, that way I can speak with a lot more confidence that after I do all my research. That way I can give you a lot of winners and a lot of great plays for next week. Okay, Aztecs, going into next week, who do you start? I'd start Justin Fields. I know he has that. I don't know if that was a cramp. I don't know if that was an injury. I don't know what that really was. I know he came back. But that said, the Chicago Bears, they're going up against the Buffalo Bills, but at least it's at home for him. I still see, we saw last week, I think there are opportunities to run against the Buffalo Bills. So I kind of lean towards Justin Fields right now, actually. Can Rodgers get 44 points tonight? I don't think so. How do I feel about Minshew? I'm surprised. I think he's, Do I really think that he's going to ball out? I think when we see Minshew play, he always gets at least one more passing touchdown than I expect, but I do think it'll probably be about the run game. I think the Eagles are going to try and be smart if Hurts doesn't play that game. Zach Tramp, you already know. That's right. He wants some good player prop bets. Well, we'll go to two that I've already given out. We'll start with Aaron Rodgers. This was the question around our first poll. We haven't had too many likes, so hit that like button. Once we get up to 10,000 likes, we'll do another quick poll around tonight's game. But one of the player prop bets that I like for tonight, Zach, is Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I'm getting that at minus 115. Like that player prop bet. Another player prop bet that I like tonight, Zach, is Christian Watson. I'm going with an anytime touchdown, and I'm pairing that with the Green Bay Packers win. That way I get on the plus side of the money. So that's Christian Watson, anytime touchdown, plus a Green Bay Packers win. I'm getting that at plus 200. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. But Trevor got more weapons and can still and can run when Fields can only run. Okay, but it's the defense. What did we just see? The Buffalo Bills defense is gashable, especially in the run game. Where the Jets, man, they look good. Do you really think Trevor Lawrence is going to ball out against the Jets defense on the road in a short week in the cold? That's just too many ifs. That's too many variables for me, Aztecs. Mason, yeah, you maybe should have started Waller. I'm not going to feel bad about that one. I have a rule. If a guy who isn't a superstar is coming back off the IR, I always like to see them come back for a week because I never know what I'm going to get. So I stayed away from Waller, but I'm not having regrets about it because if he had gotten 0 points, I would be upset. If he gets a touchdown, I'm upset. Better to just try and find someone else that I have more data on, that I can feel more confidence in. I feel like teams don't even guard Jerick McKinnon. Well, he's got unbelievable speed, and yeah, he just gets lost. I don't think enough teams think of him as a receiving option. They'll start to, though, over the coming weeks. Okay, I'm not sold with Dulcich over Waller next week. Now that we have that data, I am going to go to Waller next week probably. Again, I'm going to want to see what the matchup is. But now that I have that data, it's gonna smarten up my thinking. So for me, it really is about what's the matchup week to week. What data do I have available to me? That's what's important. He balled out against the Cowboys in cold. All right, that's Jacksonville in the sun at 1 p.m. Is that cold? Is that really cold? That's 45 degrees or 50 degrees in the sun. So I'm sure it feels warmer. I'm talking about Jersey at Thursday night in late December. So for me, it's kind of a no-brainer. I would lean, like I said, I think there are more opportunities for Justin Fields to gash the Bills in the run game than there are for Trevor Lawrence to throw against the Jets defense. If I'm wrong, by the way, would love to follow back up on this on Thursday night in our pregame show. Okay, Michael V asks, Kenneth Walker or Rachaad White for next week. The Seahawks play the Chiefs, and Rachaad White and the Buccaneers. They're on Monday Night Football, or it's Sunday Night Football. They're against the Cardinals. Definitely check back in with me tomorrow night. I'm going to have a better answer on that, Michael. That's an interesting question. My early answer would be lean slightly towards the Cardinals, or lean slightly towards Rachaad White, rather, playing the Cardinals. But join us tomorrow night, 8:30 on TikTok Live and on YouTube. We'll be able to answer all of your fantasy questions for NFL Week 16. WWE Superstar, you're big on the Rams. I like them on a cover play tonight. I'm buying the points, and I'm getting them at plus, 9? But that said, I like the Packers on the money line tonight. Taysom Hill or Waller going into next week. So the Raiders play the Steelers and the Saints. The Saints play the Browns. I kind of like Taysom Hill. Again, join us tomorrow night. I'll have much more conviction on these picks. So Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. Appreciate all the support you guys show us. Once we get up to 10,000 likes, we'll do another quick poll around tonight's game. So make sure you hit that like button as many times as you can. Love getting those polls and engaging with you guys today. Aaron Jones versus the Rams today. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a great game. I think he's going to probably get something like 50 rushing yards, maybe 30, 40 receiving yards. I could see an anytime touchdown. Will Christian Watson get at least 5 points? Yeah, I do think he will. Okay, you lost Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, or Derek Carr next week. Carr going up against the Steelers on Saturday night. That's Saturday night football. Should put that in my notes. Or who do you have? Brock Purdy, who the 49ers play. '49ers play Washington. That's an interesting one. I'm gonna lean early on towards Derek Carr, but definitely make sure you join us tomorrow night. I'll have more answers on that one. That's a good one. Curious to know what others think. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. Hit that like button too as many times as you can. Once we get 10,000 likes, we'll do another quick poll around tonight's game. How about the Bills? Yeah, Jason, I thought that was a crucial win for them because late game, that looked like the Dolphins might sneak out a win against them, but I was really impressed with how the fourth down performance by Josh Allen. Next week, they travel to Chicago. Obviously, I feel like that's going to be a win for them. Matthew Stafford or Baker Mayfield? I actually think Baker Mayfield's got an opportunity to steal this job from Matthew Stafford over the offseason. I think Baker Mayfield fits well into the offense, actually. Kind of fits into what Sean McVay likes. He doesn't have quite as big an arm, but he uses different arm slots. He can get the ball out quick. I think he also likes that he's got a bit of mobility that Matthew Stafford doesn't have. So that said, I could see this being a competition through summer, through training camp, and I wouldn't be surprised if Matthew Stafford, I could see him ultimately winning the job out just because he does have the bigger arm. But don't be surprised if there's a bit of drama out there in LA at the quarterback position. Is Cooper Kupp playing? No, Cooper Kupp's on the IR. I believe he's done for the year. Kirk Cousins, Trevor Lawrence, or Dak Prescott. Next week, I'd probably lean towards Kirk Cousins. Cousins has, what's his matchup next week? Cousins is facing the Giants next week at home in a 1 p.m. game on Saturday. We kind of saw what Kirk Cousins can do at 1 p.m. on a Saturday. He can obviously ball out, so I prefer that. Tanyan or Higbee? I'm going to lean just slightly towards Higbee. I think Baker is going to need his tight end more, so I think he's going to get more targets, more opportunities. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Once we hit 10,000 likes, we'll do a quick poll around tonight's game. Love engaging with you guys. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube. So someone just asked Baker Mayfield on the rushing yards total. So it's at 10.5. In his two games, his last two starts, obviously, one was with the Panthers, one with the Rams. He has 10 and 12 rushing yards. I could see him getting over. I'm not crazy. Without Jalen Hurts, no. Without Jalen Hurts, I still think he's a wide receiver too. I wouldn't sit him, but I am concerned about it. Dolphins fan asks, who to start, Akers or Dillon? I lean slightly towards Akers. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports and hit that like button. Once we hit 10,000 likes, we'll do a quick poll around tonight's game. You think Baker have more than 180 passing yards? Oof. It's tight. I wouldn't bet it. I don't like it. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And we hit 10,000 likes because we have just the best audience and best following and best supporters around, and that's you guys. Thank you so much for making this just an outstanding TikTok live experience and getting us up to 10,000 likes. So let's do a quick poll around tonight's game. This one has to do with Aaron Rodgers as well. Does Aaron Rodgers throw an interception tonight? That's the question. That's going off Aaron Rodgers, over, under, interceptions. So over is plus 140, under minus 185. That's how Vegas is going with it. What do you guys think? Smiling face, no interception. Crying face, interception. Does Aaron Rodgers throw a pick tonight? Let's do a quick poll. Smiling face, no interception. Crying face, interception. Does Aaron Rodgers throw an interception tonight? What do you guys think? Smiling face, no interception. Crying face, interception. Do you think Aaron Rodgers throws a pick tonight? What do you guys think? Quick poll around this game. Aaron Rodgers, does he throw an interception? Crying face, yes. Smiling face, no. So does he throw a pick? If he's crying, he throws an interception. If he's smiling, he doesn't. What do you guys think? Does Aaron Rodgers throw an interception tonight? Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube. Do you think Aaron Rodgers throws an interception tonight? Smiling face, no. Crying face, yes. Smiling face, no. Crying face, yes. Aaron Rodgers, does he throw a pick? You guys think he throws a pick tonight. Interesting. That is not where Vegas thinks it's going to go. And Rodgers this year in his home road splits, he has not thrown a lot of only one interception at home this year, and it was against the New England Patriots. If you remember that pick six, that was the only interception Rodgers has thrown at home this season. So I would take the under. I'm not with you guys. I would take the under. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Okay, Guam Boy. So, okay, 7.5. I don't like the Packers to cover, but I would buy the 1.5. I've got Packers on the money line and Rams plus 9. Rams plus 9 after I buy the 1.5. Eagles versus Cowboys. Right now, if Jalen Hurts is out, you got to believe that the Cowboys are going to win that game. They're desperate for a win, too. They really need to win that game. So I kind of like the Cowboys anyways, if I was being, kind of fair going into it. Now this news really, really stands out to me. Jason, what's my Super Bowl matchup? I have the Philadelphia Eagles playing the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. I know. Real shocker. Really went out on a limb on that one, Fumble Sports. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. If you've got questions, we've got answers. Patriots versus Bengals with the red-hot Pats defense. Yeah, but they're also facing a red-hot Joe Burrow. I think the Bengals are going to win that game. Okay, Hard Dial, make sure you join us tomorrow night, 8:30 to 10. We're going to do a TikTok Live and YouTube where we're going to answer all of your fantasy questions. So make sure you join us, and I'll answer all of your questions tomorrow night. Yeah, McKinnon has been a great play. You may want to consider picking him up. Okay, who do I want to see in the Super Bowl? It's a good question. Okay, who do I want to see in the Super Bowl? I want to see the Detroit Lions because it would be amazing if somehow Dan Campbell ran the table with the Detroit Lions. So it would be the Detroit Lions going up against... I mean, at this point, I want to see the Bills in the Super Bowl. I feel like it's their time. It was Patrick Mahomes' time. Then it was Joe Burrow's time. I feel like it's Josh Allen's time. So a Lions-Bills Super Bowl, I know that would be boring to everybody else, but I would actually get a lot of enjoyment out of that. Aaron Jones over under 58.5. Yeah, I've kind of been avoiding that one. I'm not crazy about it. I kind of lean slightly towards the under, but I'm just not playing it tonight. How many fantasy points are the Packers defense going to get? I think they could get somewhere between 8 to 11 points. Yeah, I like the Bills for sure, Jacob. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Yeah, that's right. I like Packers on the money line, and I like the Rams to cover after you buy the 1.5. I'd raise that ceiling as many times as possible. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you follow us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Does Fumble Sports have a sports app? We don't at the moment, but we are looking forward to providing one in 2023. We've actually just started talking to an app developer. So exciting times. And obviously, once we have an app, you'll be able to get all of our content. But for now, you can get that anyways. At Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube. Do you do any parlay recommendations on here? Absolutely, I do parlay recommendations. It's one of those twofold. One, you just need to ask for them, or otherwise I won't necessarily give them out. But I'm happy to give out parlay recommendations. Is Rachaad White a start every week? User 238. I like to treat it week to week. I don't kind of lock anyone in unless it's a no-brainer. A Jamar Chase at wide receiver, a Derrick Henry at running back. But other than that, I do like to kind of see what I have in the matchup. Rams or Packers -7.5. So I have Packers on the money line, and I have the Rams covering, but I would buy the 1.5 and get it up to +9. A.J. Dillon over half a touchdown. I'm not crazy about it. I'd avoid it. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you follow us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. What do I think about the Jalen Hurts injury? I don't think it's that devastating for the Eagles. I think they're still going to be the #1 seed in the NFC. They're still obviously going to wrap up the NFC East. So I actually think this is an opportunity for them to rest him at an important time of the season where you're not losing the continuity or the chemistry. You're just giving him as much time as possible to be 100%. Because when Jalen Hurts has been 100% this year, you could argue he's the best player in the league at times. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you follow us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And once we hit 15,000 likes, we'll do another quick poll around tonight's game. We'll do a player comparison. We'll do a player comparison for that one. So make sure you're hitting that like button. Okay, all homies, who do I like more in the flex? I like Christian Watson more. Make sure you're hitting that like button. We'll do a player comparison once we get up to 15,000 likes. Rams, what happened? I mean, honestly, you win a Super Bowl, but you leverage or you mortgage your future. It's kind of what happens. And as long as you win the Super Bowl, you don't care. It's when you lose the Super Bowl that you care. It's when you put all that effort in and you don't get it. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you hit that like button as many times as you can. Once we get up to 15,000 likes, we'll do a quick poll around a player comparison for tonight. You're up 25 and he is Aaron Jones. Yeah, I think you're safe. Is Geno Smith a good start next week against the Chiefs? I'm going to have to check that just to make sure. But definitely join us tomorrow night at 8:30. We'll do a TikTok live and YouTube answering all of your fantasy questions there. Packers money line, last leg of an 8-team parlay, cash out or keep it. Okay, this is what you should do. You don't cash out, you keep it, but you put money on the Rams. You put money on the Rams on the money line. It's just a means of hedging. So I know that it's very popular right now to cash out. You don't need to do that. You can just put money down. Now, what would I do? I would put money down not on the Rams on the money line. I put money down on the Rams to cover because you could hit both the parlay and that bet. Now you have to put more money down because the odds aren't as good, but still, I would take Rams to cover +7.5. If you have Packers on a money line play, like last night, for example, I had Washington Commanders winning in like 7 parlays that each had at least 5 teams in them. I could have cashed a good amount of money on that. Before that game last night, I put down a number of units on the Giants covering. I also put down some money on the Giants winning. All right, turns out that was worth it because the Commanders busted me. So I cash in, I put a couple grand in my pocket just by hedging myself. I recommend you kind of do the same thing, which is don't ditch the parlay or cash out of it, just hedge. And you could hedge and hit both bets. What are locks for me tonight? Packers money line is a lock for me tonight. That's a no-brainer for me. As for a player prop bet, I won't call it a lock, but I really like Aaron Rodgers to throw at least 2 touchdowns. So that's over 1.5 touchdowns, obviously. He's thrown at least 2 touchdowns in 5 of his 6 games up against the Rams. The Rams are better against the run than they are against the pass. Aaron Rodgers, how many times is he going to play in front of the Packers fans at home again? I just think he's going to throw 2 touchdowns. What about DFS? I mean, this isn't a great game for DFS in my opinion, in that I think it's going to be kind of the stars that have bigger games. I could see Van Jefferson having a decent game. I could see Higbee being your better tight end. I think Jones is going to be the better running back of the two. So, speaking of which players are better, hit that like button. Once we hit up 15,000 likes, we'll do a player comparison poll. If Rams win, the Packers and Rams have a record of 5-9. Yeah, surprisingly. How many points do you think Lazard gets tonight? Like 6, 7? Make sure you're joining us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Can I give you a parlay for tonight's game? Well, I mean, the way I play tonight's game, the Fumble Sports pick for the Monday Night Football game is Packers on the money line, Rams to cover at +9 after I buy the 1.5, and I would take the over. I think Baker Mayfield could have some extra yards, extra points, so I think I'd take the over 38 after I buy it down. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports. Do I think Rodgers gets over 200 passing yards? Yes, I do. Best player on the Rams that isn't injured right now is Jalen Ramsey, even though he's bad. I mean, he's still great when he's bad. Do I like Joe Mixon the rest of the season? Probably. Probably. I mean, it really depends on his health week to week. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you follow us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. Make sure you're hitting that like button as many times as you can. Once we hit 15,000 likes, we'll do another quick poll around tonight's game. How do I think Watson will do? I think he'll get anywhere between 60 and 80 receiving yards, but I do like him getting an anytime touchdown. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you're hitting that like button. And of course, follow and subscribe at Fumble Sports on TikTok and YouTube, as we're on both of them right now doing a pregame show for tonight's game. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. We just have the best audience in sports media. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. Cooper Kupp is supposed to be back next season. Yeah, I don't see him why he wouldn't be. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you're following. If you've got questions, they can be about fantasy, gambling, or they can just be about football. We can talk football. We're going to be doing this pregame show for another half hour or so. Appreciate all you guys joining us. We've gone almost an hour now. So just enjoying a little pregame show action between the Rams and Packers as they get ready at Lambeau Field. Some cold conditions there. Glad we're in the comfort of home tonight. Will Sean McVay retire after this year? Jay Lopedog, appreciate seeing you in the chat. Great friend. I'm curious to know what his future is. Obviously, there were rumors about that after last year. This year has been so disappointing. I hope not. He's such an incredible mind. I think he's great for the game of football. I certainly hope he doesn't leave. I'd like to see him coach for a few more years. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. Mike McDaniels is actually Matt LaFleur in disguise. I don't think so, only because I think Matt LaFleur is an absolute tool, and I think Mike McDaniels is kind of cool in a toolish way, which is maybe a slight variation, but I think Mike McDaniels is like, by the way, I saw a photo of Mike McDaniels from like high school. The dude had like double earrings, and like he looks so different than what he does now. He's definitely like morphed into dweeb. Like it usually is dweeb morphs into somebody else, like badass. He's the reverse. It's kind of funny, but that said, I'm not really about Matt LaFleur. I think he's kind of a tool. I kind of like Mike McDaniels. He's just funny. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Nick GS, what do we like for this game? I like Packers on the money line. I like the Rams to cover. I would buy the 1.5 and get Rams +9. I like the over. I probably shouldn't. I'm leaning that way. I just think we get a few more points than we expect. I know it's a Monday night game, and totals on prime time have usually gone towards the under this year, but just having some fun with it, I'm going to go towards the over. McDaniels won a Madden tournament for that job. Prove me wrong. I think he's a bit more of a football genius than just pressing the A and B button. That said, he's definitely fun. Like, you hear his mic'd up moments, whether in game or in practice. Guy's hilarious. I'm a big fan. Rams at plus 8.5 or plus 9.5. I can't pick 9. Well, then take the 9.5. Like, take as many points as you can get just to cover. You just want the extra security. I'm always willing to pay the extra money just to get slightly better odds. I want to cash as many tickets as I can. Lost $100 because the Patriots bet and the Cowboys. So I grew up in New England. I'll just say that. I grew up in New England. And yesterday, I had a bad feeling about the New England Patriots. Every time Belichick plays one of his assistants, he seems to not only lose, but he seems to get embarrassed, like that game he had against Matt Patricia years ago when he played, I'm forgetting his name, the genius with the Jets. I'm forgetting his name. Shit, what's his name? Anyways, there's just a history of Belichick going up against, a former assistants and losing. So I kind of felt like it was going to be a loss. So I put some money down on the Raiders. It's just kind of funny that for me to see them lose in the manner in which they did. What up, Alfredo, saucy boy? Yeah, Massachusetts. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And of course, hit that like button, WWE Superstar. Appreciate you joining us. Hope you have a great night. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Once we hit 15,000 likes, we'll do a quick poll around tonight's game. Oh, I am seeing some news. Jonathan Taylor likely out for the year. Okay, that's why you guys were asking about Jonathan Taylor. If he's likely out for the year, yeah, he's worth dropping unless you're in a dynasty league, because then he's just taking up space on your bench. Rodgers and Baker both 25 completed passes tonight. Oh, no, I'm not crazy about that one. Aaron Rodgers, in his last few games, 18, 11, 24, and 14 completions. That's over his last 4 games. And by the way, that's against the Bears, Eagles, Titans, and Cowboys. So there's some teams in there where he should have had a lot more passing attempts and didn't. So I'm not crazy about it. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you hit that like button as many times as you can. Yeah, we're trying to be better than Barstool Sports. They can talk pizza reviews or porn stars or whatever, Rico, Bosco, or whatever bullshit they do. We're just going to talk sports here. But Fumble Sports, we just talk sports. We'll leave Rico, Bosco to other people. You're up 16. Does A.J. Dillon beat me? No, I think you got it. Yeah, Yoshi, Raiders. What a win. That goes down as one of the dumbest plays I've ever seen in the history of sports. Not just football, but like the history of sports. An all-timer. I fully expect that play to be shown year after year. It may as well be a butt fumble because we're going to see it year after year. By the way, here's a great contest. Put in the chat right now, what name would you give the play we saw yesterday? Please, if you could tweet this out, I'd appreciate it. What name would you give the play we saw yesterday between the Raiders and Patriots? All great games, all great plays seem to have a name. Obviously, we're coming up on the anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. That game probably reminded some people of the miracle in Miami between the Dolphins and Patriots a few years ago when Gronk missed the tackle near the goal line. I'd love to know, throw in the chat some recommendations or suggestions you guys have. What would you call yesterday's game-winning play for the Raiders or the game-losing play for the Patriots? I'd love to know if you guys have some nicknames or if you guys have some names. I'd love to know what you guys think. The "You're Welcome" play? Yeah, the Vegas, the house always wins. Absolutely. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you follow us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Myers Mayhem. I like that one. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I want to do some kind of like Raiders, like Raiders Patriots thing, but it's not really coming off the tongue. The Hanukkah Miracle. There is a giant flame in that stadium in Las Vegas that probably burns a few more days than people think it will. The Bobby Boucher special, I saw that clip that people put up against the play, and it is like miraculously similar in some ways, so it is funny. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Do I think Aaron Jones will get you 15 points in a PPR? Yeah, actually, I think a PPR he might. End game? I like it. I like it. The loser in Las Vegas, or what's that movie? That's what's that, moaning or groaning in Las Vegas? What's that movie about the journalist who goes to Las Vegas for the race in the desert? What am I thinking of? I'm sure you guys know out there. Brankin asks, Aaron Jones or Christian Watson for a TD tonight? I would lean towards Christian Watson, actually, just based off of the trends over the last month. Make sure you're following us at ButtFumble Sports on TikTok. Make sure you're following us at ButtFumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Going for a little bit longer on this pregame show as we take you up until kickoff of Rams and Packers. Right now, the Packers are favored by 7.5 points. The over-under is set at, let's check. The over-under set at 39.5 points. Do I play A.J. Dillon or Aaron Jones PPR and I need 15? Then you got to go Aaron Jones. Chandler Jones looked like a wide receiver. Well, I mean, it was one of those where it was thrown right to him. I mean, literally, he didn't have to move. It was thrown right to him. But honestly, one of the dumbest plays you'll see in all of sports. Just made no sense. Disaster. But would love to know if you guys have a nickname for that play we saw yesterday. Throw it in the chat. Would love to know if you guys have a nickname for that play. And make sure you hit the like button. Once we hit 15,000 likes, we're going to do a player comparison poll around tonight's game, so you don't want to miss that one. Watson getting 29. Nah, don't see it, buddy. Think that would have to be a monster performance. Make sure you're hitting that like button at ButtFumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Odds Aaron Jones gets injured today. I hope it's not high. The Pats peril. Ooh. You see, what's interesting is the ones you guys seem to be coming up with are more about the Patriots' destruction as opposed to, yeah, the flea flopper. Ooh, okay. Now we're getting creative. Interesting. Was it really a flea flicker? It's kind of a band is out on the field kind of moment, but like, you know. What? By the way, again, what a stupid play. I don't know what Jacoby Myers was thinking. Like, and I did a rant yesterday and just totally took a shit on the Patriots. Because to me, we give the Patriots so much credit over the last 2 decades for being like the most prepared team and always knowing what to do and situational football and all of this stuff. All right, well, how'd you do in that situation yesterday? I mean, disaster. Everyone wants to put it on Jacoby Myers, and to a certain extent I do. But if the Patriots had just taken a knee and didn't try to like outsmart themselves and outsmart the Raiders and pull some kind of trick play or draw play, like that game would have gone to overtime. So I know we're talking about Jacoby Myers, but to me, it's as much about Bill Belichick. Like, why wasn't your guy prepared for that moment? And why didn't you just knee the ball? Did you really think Ramondre Stevenson was going to run it like 65 yards for a touchdown? Just stupid. I don't know what he was thinking. Yeah, the wrong Jones caught the ball. That's funny. Yeah, that's actually very funny. I didn't even think about that. That it was Jones who was targeted. It's just the wrong Jones. I'm definitely taking a shit on the Patriots, though. To me, this season has been a disaster for New England. They made a wrong decision hiring Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, and like they got what they deserved yesterday. It was like the ghosts of Christmas past. They're going up against McDaniels, and they lose in that kind of fashion. You know, they should have won that game 3 times over. Yeah, you take it. No, you take it. Yeah. What a disaster. What a disaster. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you hit that like button. Once we get up to 15,000 likes, we will do a quick comparison around tonight's game, a player comparison. You don't want to miss that, so make sure you hit that like button. Yeah, I hope we never see another play like that because that was special. I mean, and I want to just call out, we had a number of great moments from NFL Week 15. It was definitely my favorite week of the season. Whether it was the Vikings coming back against the Colts. The comeback by the Bills on Saturday night. Obviously, you had the Cowboys losing to the Jaguars. The Lions late game win against the Jets. And then you had that Patriots-Raiders. Also, you had Sunday Night Football deliver. Just a great game. Mac Jones hates Matt Patricia. I mean, Mac Jones hates Matt Patricia. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like a student who's in the same homeroom for an entire year, but they hate their homeroom teacher, and like everyone knows it. Like the principal knows it, the other teachers know it, and this student goes to all these other teachers and principals and goes, man, I hate my homeroom teacher so much. Can't I just switch homerooms? Can't I just be anywhere but there? And it's like, no, you got to suffer through the whole year. But he just hates him, man. He hates him. Need Watson to get under 21 to have a chance. Yeah, I think he's going to be under 21 points tonight. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Does Dan Campbell believe in DeAndre Swift? Yeah, I don't see why not. I just think the Jets are a really tough defense, so I didn't expect Swift or Williams to have massive days. I wouldn't put too much thought into it. I think it was really just, going up against a good defense. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports and hit that like button as many times as you can. Once we get to 15,000 likes, we'll do another quick poll around a player comparison. The Gamble Scramble, Michael. That is my favorite so far. Love that one. A little bit of Vegas mixed in there. Love it. What a good take. Would you start Trevor Lawrence against the Jets next week? I'm really hesitating simply because it's on Thursday. It's a short week on the road in the cold at night against a good secondary. That's just too many variables that kind of lean me away from starting Lawrence. Definitely join us tomorrow night from 8:30 to 10 on TikTok Live and YouTube. We're going to answer all of your fantasy questions. I'm going to do my research tomorrow for Week 16 to make sure I'm prepared and know everything I need to give you good advice. So join us tomorrow night, and I might have some more insight on it. At least for right now, though, I'm kind of fading Trevor Lawrence. Gene, a lot of people want to take a shit on the refs, and yeah, there were some suspect moments, especially that call at the end of the Washington-New York game, the flag, and then the no pass interference. That, I will agree, is kind of suspect. But on the whole, I feel like people want to make this big deal about referees and the game is rigged. I can see that in the NBA. If a referee hates Chris Paul, amazingly Chris Paul gets a tech or a flagrant really quick in that game, shocker. NFL, I think it's a little bit harder to rig it. That said, I feel like we do see some calls with roughing the passer, pass interference, but on the whole, I think the refs do a decent job for an impossible task. If I was naming it, I'd call it the holy shit that covered. Yeah, we'd call it the tarp because that play covered. What an incredible play that was. Thoughts about Christian Kirk? I recommended him last week. I was a little bit concerned about it. And then late in the second half, he obviously came on and had a much better day. Not crazy about the matchup, though, with Kirk between Sauce Gardner and that defense of the Jets secondary. You won by 0.2 points less than that. Wow, terrified of a stat correction. Yeah, that's one in which you're refreshing the page every couple of minutes just to make sure you got it. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. We're answering all of your questions right up until we leave. Chiefs game was too much. Yeah, I forgot about the Chiefs game as well. That was a crazy game. We called that one, by the way, dead on. We got that right in every way. Chiefs on the money line, Texans cover, and the over. That's why you come to Fumble Sports to get some good picks. What are the chances Watson gets 12 points PPR? I think there's a decent chance because I like him getting in the end zone. I think you're kind of on the fringes, but I think he does get there for you. I think he's closer to close to 13, 14 points. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports and hit that like button as many times as you can. Yo, the Lions are fun. The Lions are a good team. They're fun to watch. I'm enjoying them so much. Dan Campbell's won me over. I thought he was a goof. I thought he was a meat steakhead years ago. I feel differently. The guy's totally won me over. Cowboys game went as planned too. Yeah, that's right. That was one of our best bets. We actually hit on both of our best bets yesterday. We had the over in the Jaguars-Cowboys game. We had the under in the Washington game. So we hit our best bets yesterday. Nice to go 2-0 on those. That said, yeah, we nailed our Cowboys-Jaguars pick, except we had the Cowboys on the money line. We had Jaguars covering, and we had the over, but we had the Cowboys on the money line. So, almost there. Do you like golf? I do like golf. I want to make sure I give you good advice, so join us tomorrow night so I can make sure I give you a good answer on that matchup. That said, Goff is going up against the Carolina Panthers defense on the road. Goff isn't as good on the road as he is at home, so I'm not as crazy about him, but still think there are opportunities there to take advantage. Codename Juicebox. First of all, what a freaking cool handle. Codename Juicebox. Talk about an assassin at recess. Appreciate the support. Make sure all of you guys are joining us and following at Fumble Sports. Hit that like button as many times as you can. And of course, subscribe at Fumble Sports. Jones and Rodgers for 60. Yeah, I don't like it. Sorry. Not liking it, Frankie. Do you think Jones and Dillon get more points full PPR? I like Jones more than Dillon. Rams or Packers to win. Andrew, I like the Packers on the money line. I like the Rams to cover after I buy 1.5. So it's Rams money line. It's Packers money line. Rams +9, and I'm leaning towards the over just slightly. Make sure you're following at Fumble Sports. Yeah, I appreciate it, Codename Juicebox. I just love talking sports. I love giving you guys good information. Love engaging with you guys. Make sure you're following and subscribing. Make sure you join us tomorrow night. We're going to do a TikTok live for 2 hours, an hour and a half tomorrow night, answering all of your fantasy questions. Should you drop Pickens for Jahan Dotson? No, not quite yet. I would also see if there's someone else you can drop. I would like maybe picking up Dotson, but it really is about who are you dropping him for. No, we have a YouTube channel as well. Make sure you're subscribing on YouTube at Fumble Sports. We're actually on there right now. Every time we go on TikTok Live, we actually also stream on YouTube. So if you want to check us out on YouTube and ask your questions through there, we get all of them, so always happy to answer them. What names would you give the Raiders walk-off to beat the Patriots? Got a response from Adam. Raiders reversal, Raiders rewind. Yeah, that's one in which you got to pull up the clicker and make sure you rewind that. Should you drop Debo for Dotson? No, I wouldn't do that either. Keep going. Let me know who else you have. Jalen Hurts is out for the Cowboys game. Haven't heard it officially yet. I do think that ultimately the Eagles will sit him. I think they'll believe there's no reason to risk him, especially because I think there's a decent chance these two teams could see each other again in the playoffs. So if I'm the Eagles, do I really want to risk Jalen Hurts' health in a game that means nothing to me but rivalry? I could just sit him and I still have him available for the playoffs and against the Cowboys in a potential matchup. Codename Juicebox, so appreciate the support. Hope all of you guys do what he's doing, following us not just on TikTok at Fumble Sports, but on YouTube as well, at Fumble Sports. Make sure you're subscribing. That way you can see all of my videos, rants, fantasy football, gambling picks, everything you need. Make sure you're following us and subscribing at Fumble Sports. Yeah, I'm going to laugh when the game is 27-24 tonight. Everyone is riding the under. Yeah, Brian, I'm riding the over. I'm banking on that over hitting. So appreciate all of you guys joining us. We're going to be doing this for just a couple more minutes. Do you prefer Lawrence or Burrow next week? I definitely prefer Burrow. But Charles, join us tomorrow night. Make sure you're joining us at 8:30. We'll be on TikTok Live and YouTube. But for now, I at least like Burrow more. A.J. Brown or Lamb next week. They play each other. Yep, I know that. I prefer Lamb as of right now. But again, join us tomorrow night. I'll have more information and we'll be able to kind of talk about that a little bit more. Thoughts on the Colts running back situation? Is Deion Jackson healthy again? I haven't seen, but let me know. All right, before we sign off, I want to make sure that we throw up all of our player prop bets. Okay, my phone died. Didn't hear your answer. Jones or Watson for TD scores? I prefer Watson. That actually leads right in to one of my favorite player prop bets tonight. Let's throw that one up. That goes to Christian Watson, anytime touchdown, and I like that being in part of a game-winning parlay. So Watson anytime touchdown plus Packers to win. I'm getting that at plus money at plus 200. I like that play. I could get Christian Watson anytime touchdown, but it would be at minus money. I want to flip that into plus money, and that's why I'm combining it with the Packers on the money line. Another player prop bet that I like tonight, this one has to do with the Los Angeles Rams. I like Cam Akers on an anytime touchdown as well. Cam Akers, anytime touchdown. One last player prop bet, and then I'll answer a few more of your questions before we get out of here. The last one tonight, we talked about it earlier. I like Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I'm getting that at minus 115. Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Those are my 3 favorite player props for tonight's game. Answering a couple questions before we wrap this up. What are your thoughts on Dak versus Tua for week 16 and week 17? The Miami Dolphins play the Green Bay Packers next week at home on 1 p.m. on Sunday. It's the only game on that 1 p.m. window on Sunday. I like Tua next week. I think he's going to bounce back. I know it's not a bounce back. He played decently well against the Bills. But I like Tua a little bit more than I like Dak next week. With Hurts potentially out, Rodgers, Jones, or Purdy, you might want to consider Daniel Jones rather. He's going up against the Minnesota Vikings defense, and we saw that defense can give up some points and give up some yards. Make sure you guys are following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok and on YouTube. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 8:30 Eastern Time, we will do a TikTok Live where I'll be answering all of your fantasy questions. We'll do a giant early line preview for NFL Week 16, answering all of your early line gambling questions, all of your fantasy questions. I know this is a pivotal week, playoffs for all of you guys, so make sure you join us tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern Time on TikTok Live and on YouTube at Fumble Sports. We'll answer all of your questions. I want to make sure you guys don't miss it. If you guys are following, if you're subscribing, no chance you'll miss it because you'll know every time I go live. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. We're going to wrap up now. It was such a lot of fun. We've gone for an hour and 15 minutes. So appreciate all the support you guys show us, the love. You guys are an amazing following, an amazing audience. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Again, one more time, tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, up until 10:30, we will do a TikTok Live and YouTube where we will preview every game of NFL Week 16 and answer every fantasy football question. We will answer every fantasy football question. So if you have questions about Week 16, make sure you join us tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on TikTok Live and YouTube at Fumble Sports. We will make sure that we set your lineups so that you win your matchups and hopefully win your leagues. Appreciate so much all you guys joining us on this Monday night. Good luck tonight. Hope you enjoy Monday Night Football. One last time, the Fumble Sports pick for tonight's game is the Packers on the money line, the Rams to cover after you buy 1.5, and the over after you buy 1.5. I appreciate all of you guys so much. Make sure you follow us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We love engaging with you guys, so hit us up on Twitter at SportsFumble, on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We answer questions all the time. So make sure you hit us up at Fumble Sports. Make sure you're following and subscribing, and we'll see you tomorrow night, Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, answering all of your NFL Week 16 questions. Have a great Monday night.